The Watcher by Spike Flings. The sun is setting now, and it still watches me from the edge of the tree line. I pretend not to notice as I go about my routine. I do last night's dishes, I take a drink of cheap booze, I ease myself into a comfy chair and wait. As I hobble through the glorified cabin, it does not move. It stands by the wych elm tree, silent in the snow. It should be frozen solid, between the whipping winds and the high floating around 0 degrees, but it only stands and watches. Dale came by yesterday. He was a big man with bushy dark beard, tinged at the end with bits of red. He had hands the size of bear claws, and he shared a nose color with Rudolph, a symbol of his favorite last time. The sun was already hanging low in the west when he rolled up in his rusted Ford pickup truck. He brought me some cans of soup and fresh bread. He must have felt bad that I broke my leg carrying his drunk ass up the stairs a few weeks back. "Storm's coming," he said as he stamped his boots out the door. "Thought I'd stop by with some essentials." He slid a bottle of cheap whiskey from a brown paper bag with a wink. I'd been stuck in my uncle's cabin since my fall about 2 weeks ago. I was too broke to afford a plane ticket home, and too proud to let my cousin Dale put me up while I healed. The cabin has heat and water and not much else. No landline, no TV, and it was way out in the middle of the woods. But what else did I really need while I healed? It made for boring recovery, but Dale's hag of a wife didn't make it a hard choice. I pulled out 2 rock glasses and Dale plopped down in a chair, leaving me to limp over a seat myself. After a few burning glasses of the bottom shelf bourbon, a frenzy of texts summoned Dale home. "Best not to keep the she-wolf waiting," I said with a laugh. I looked out the window. It was dark now, a full red moon, the only source of light. "Nah, best not." Dale fired back his glass, pouring out another drink that was a finger short of his fist, and slammed that back too. He must have sensed I was looking at him like he was nuts. "I'm gonna need that for this fight. She's always going on about weaponized incompetence this and mental load that. Just because I have to listen to it doesn't mean I need to understand it, eh?" "Good luck to you," I laughed, raising my glass in a mock salute. Yeah. Dale sneered as he slid the wooden chair back, grunting with effort. "I'll come back after the storm passes, whenever that is. Need anything special? Can you invent me a more comfortable pair of crutches while you're in the doghouse? My pits are killing me." "You're the egghead. I'm the looks, obviously. Take care, dweeb." He gave me a playful punch in the arm, pulled on his boots, and went out the way he came. I had just put the glasses in the sink and turned on the water when I heard Dale yelp. Moron must have gone to take a leak and fallen again, I thought as I hopped towards the door. I turned the knob and stared out into the blackness. "Dale, did you fall cock first in the snow again? I can't exactly pull you out this time," I shouted with a laugh. Silence was my answer. "Dale?" Still no answer. "If you don't answer me, I'm gonna tell Susie how much of that rot gut you down before you drove home to her." I glanced over to Dale's truck. There was something off about it, but from my doorway I couldn't quite see. I grabbed a flashlight from a nearby drawer and shined the light towards the driver's side. Deep, wide scratches were carved down the length of the vehicle. It was like someone had taken a chalkboard liner full of knives to the side and dug in with all they were worth. Still no sign of Dale. "Oh fuck," I whispered. "Dale, where are you, man?" I scanned the flashlight around my icy driveway with one shaking hand, the other just barely holding me up on a crutch. There was no sign of him. I started to panic, my rapid breath coming out of me like the steam blasts of a locomotive. "Dweeb," Dale's voice came, almost whisper quiet. I almost pissed my pants. I was so relieved, I let out a nervous laugh. "Are you so drunk you got lost on your way to your own car?" I moved the flashlight over towards him. He was behind the truck near the passenger side door. I didn't want to blind him, so I just put the light on the scratches along the driver's side. "Susie key your car or something? When the hell did this happen? I thought a bear or something." "Best not to keep the she-wolf waiting," came an answer in a twisted, croaking parody of my voice. That wasn't Dale. I looked towards where the figure was standing. I slowly brought the flashlight up. It was gone before I could flick my wrist upwards. I heard footfalls crunching through the snow through the woods. Whatever it was fast. "Dale!" I screamed again. Nothing but the wind answered. I looked up towards the woods. A pair of big, yellow eyes returned my gaze without blinking. I try to tell myself now that if only it hadn't been for my busted leg, I would have gone out looking for my cousin. But I know that this isn't true. I locked all the doors, turned on all the lights, and slumped down in my kitchen with my back to my fridge and a knife in my hand. I don't remember falling asleep, or even feeling all that tired, but the booze must have snuck up on me. I woke up in a sweat, knife still tight in my fist. I scrambled to the window and looked outside. No creature, no Dale, just blood, spread in a large pool from behind the truck. The red smear was pulled straight back into the darkness of the barren tree branches a few yards away. Even with my broken leg, I scrambled down the steps of the truck, the clouded daylight giving me some mild courage. Dale's truck was trashed, tires flattened, windows smashed, even the seats shredded. I limped to my Buick, but it was no better. The engine torn to bits under the hood and tires shredded. I rushed back to the cabin. As I reached for the doorknob, I saw thick grooves gouged out up and down the wood. I looked back to the woods, and there it was, hiding behind the wych elm. One claw hand resting on the bark as it watched me with those horrible yellow eyes. I slammed the door behind me and pressed all my weight into it. In between panting breaths, I managed to hear a faint tap, tap, tap. Kitchen knife still firm in my hand, I hopped over to the sound. The back door had been forced open, almost completely off its hinges. It swung limply in the breeze, knocking gently into the wall with each gust of wind. It can take me whenever it wants. I try not to think about it as I go about my business. I just hope whatever's watching me from the wych elm makes it quick.